Hello, dear follower of Geometry Video Tutorial. You are welcome to this new edition of our program. The aim and objective of this particular version of our tutorial is to teach you as a beginner how to use Artlantis Studio 5 to render your architectural models. Now, there are some necessary steps you take before you start rendering your drawing. These necessary steps include the settings. It involves the settings that you have to do on your Artlantis system before you now embark on the rendering. These settings are very important because the setting brings out the look of your architectural model, the way you want it to appear. So let's start by setting our Artlantis modeling board. Now, when you open your drawing in Artlantis and it appears like this, why it looks like this is because of the time the drawing was saved in our architecture in the modeling board. Like this drawing was done with ArchiCAD. Now, because in that ArchiCAD, the time the drawing was saved this evening, that is why it appeared like this. As you can see, the time you have here is 7 a.m. This is 7 a.m. It means the drawing was saved by 7 a.m. in the morning. That is why the building looks very dim. Doesn't look really beautiful the way you want it to do. So first thing I do here is I have to work on the time here. Let's increase this time a little bit. Let's say like 9 o'clock in the morning. Of course, you know, by 9 o'clock in the morning, the sky is very clear. You can see very well. Let's change it to 9. Then type 0 here. Of course, you see what happens immediately. The moment you change it from 7 to 9, the building appears clean like this. One other factor that affects the look of the building is the location. Like here, it is parish. Now, this might be 9 o'clock in the morning and the building will look very clean like this. But if I change the location, it might not look clean like this. Okay, let's go. Let me show you something. Let's change it to Lisbon. It has been changed to Lisbon. Look at the look it appears in Lisbon. It means that the time of Lisbon and the time of London there, that they share something in common that makes the building to look clean like this. Okay, let's look for other cities that we can change to and see what happens in those cities by 9 a.m. in the morning. Let's look for, let's say, Los Angeles. You see what happens. The building brightens now. The building brightens the moment we change it to Los Angeles. Okay, let's look for another city. Let's say Madrid. Oh, the building looks very dark. It looks dimmer now because of the location. Okay, let's make use of Los Angeles, which looks brighter. Good. Now, by 9 a.m. in the morning at Los Angeles, the sky is very clear. The sky is very clear. It doesn't mean that you must always use Los Angeles. You can use any location you feel like. All you have to do is just to work on your time, increase your time a little bit, and the outlook of your model will look brighter. Now, having done this, the next thing you choose is the month. Of course, this is January. By having this one here, it means January. I like using something like, let's choose something like 20. Oh, not January. What you have here, January, February, March, April. This is May. This is May. Okay, let's choose it to something like August. And see what the building will look like by August. You see, it's looking dimmer, not brighter as it was previously. Now, having done this, the next thing we do is you go to your settings. You click on your settings here. Now, click on this space here, then change the rendering size to use Full HD. I always encourage students to make use of Full HD. Then go to this resolution. You can leave it at 72 or you can increase it a bit. Okay, let's use something like 100 there. Then check this anti-aliasing. Check it on, and then change this your radiosity to, let's say, higher radiosity. And then these are custom lighting. You can change it to exterior lighting. And you can move this from low to high. If you don't mind, you can move it to high. But each one you choose has its own advantage and disadvantage. Alright, let's leave it as low. Then set it as before. Set the settings as before and click OK. That is done. Your building is looking brighter. Now what you have is to add textures, materials to your building to make it look better than what you have here. Now to do that, you click on this lower end of your drawing board screen. Click on it. It brings out your material board. Then click on this spot here. It says choose media browser. Click on it. The moment it appears here, you have this particular folder here. It says display user media. This is for your media. If you click on it, you observe that you don't have any of your own media. You don't have your external material, so you can start importing your external material here. To do that, just click on plus. Then you click on plus. You look for the folder on your desktop where you have external materials. So okay, let me look for one. Okay, let's look for this Lenovo file. In this Lenovo file, I have this folder, and then inside it, I have desktop, and I have Artlantis document. Let me check for Artlantis document. I have modeling window. This modeling window, okay, look at the folder that I have here. I can say add to. Once I click on it, just click OK. that R2 will appear. It's bringing materials in. We'll do the same thing again. So that same particular folder, Lenovo, in desktop, Artlantis document down to modeling window, and then the next one we'll bring in is Art01. Just click OK. You can see it has just appeared here. There are so many materials we can bring from that place to this place. Okay, let's try one other folder there, like shaders. Let's get another material there, Lenovo, and then let's go down, desktop, Artlantis document, down to modeling window, and let's see if we have shader pack. Okay, we have shader pack. Let's open it as well. Let's click OK. It has entered. Let's repeat the same thing again. We need to bring another shader pack there. Lenovo file, main, desktop, Artlantis document, down to modeling window, then shader pack 2. And click OK. Okay, let's stop here. So at this point now we can pick shader pack 2 and look for a material that we can use to replace this material that we have on this wall. To do that, next thing you do is click on your shader here. Once you click on this spot, then take your mouse to the material that you want to change. Press down your cursor on it. Press down your cursor on it. The moment you press down your cursor on it, the color of that place appears here. You can now change this material. You can change it to anything you want. You see what I'm doing. Whatever you do there reflects on this place. So this is how you modify the color of this place. Now, if you want to use a kind of texture material on this place, that is where you can pick it from this your own media library here. Okay, let me choose a material here. Let me just pick a material here that I can put in there. Scroll down. Just want to get an interesting material that I can paste there. Okay, let's make use of this shader material. Now drag it. Drag. Just press down your cursor on it. Press down your cursor on it and then drag it. Then go to that particular place point you want to drop the shader and release your mouse so that it drops it there. Look at what it looks like. Now the moment it appears like this, what you do is you work on it. Click at this spot that is called dimension. It will open. The moment it opens on here, check here on, then click OK. Then move to this place, change it to horizontal. Then start moving this back. Or you click on dimension again. Click OK. Move down here again. Click on this spot again. Move it down. You keep moving it down until it appears to the proportion you want it to be. The size appears to the proportion you want it to be like. Click OK. Move down here again. You're reducing the scale to make it look like what we want it to be. Okay. We can leave it at this size as it looks moderate in this size. Then, now having reduced this shader to the proportion you want it to look like, you then click on this spot save. The drawing now saves. One of the reasons why you should always click on save is because Artlantis, the way it is designed, it does not save automatically. There is nothing like auto saving in Artlantis 5. That is why you must have to click on your save intermittently. Because if you don't do that, if your system happens to trip off, every changes, every editing you've done on the drawing will disappear. You will like start afresh. Therefore, you have to click on your save at every new change you do in the drawing. Now, having done that, if you look at the structure and you feel like the drawing does not look the way you want it, you don't like the texture, you just apply there, you can go back and change that material. You can change it and look for, you can, by deleting it, delete the one you just fixed by pressing down your cursor on it. Then that plus sign appears there. Then right click on it and delete it. Now, having deleted this material, you can scroll down and search for a better material you feel like you can have there. Let's scroll down and you get a new shader. Okay, let's try this. Let's apply it and see what it looks like. Okay. Now go back to this your dimension again and check these two things on and click OK. Change this to millimeter. Not millimeter as well. Click OK. change this to horizontal, and then move this scale down, reduce the scale till it appears to the size, the proportion you want it to be. Move this down again. Click OK. Go back here and also repeat the same process while the scale of the shader keeps reducing. Now, I think this size of material is okay. Then you click OK. Then the next thing you do is you fine tune it, because this is a wall tile. We can make it a little reflective by adjusting this figure here. Well, let's leave it as 9, or let's say 5. Click OK. Leave it as 5. That's okay. Then click Save as well. Then the next material we'll change here is this material. That's the white wall. We have to choose a material that will fit in there. Okay, let's look for something. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this tile 26. Paste it on it. Then click on your dimension. Change this. Click this as well. Click OK. Then change this to horizontal. Then reduce this scale. Then make it also reflective. Let's just say here, type it as 5. Then click OK, click on your save. Then another material we'll have to work on here, another surface here is this brick surface. So you either retain this shader, this brick material, or you also change it the way you did other ones. Let me see if I have an interesting material here that I can use to replace that. Alright, let's use this material, siding 07. Let's drag it and paste it on the surface we want to change. Okay, it has appeared there. Click on shader, then check this on, minimize the scale, click OK, repeat the same thing here, reducing the scale here, move back to the dimension, use the scale. Now another thing to edit there is the window. The window. You click on this spot, display this shader, and start for your glass. You have glass here. Use your fresh nail, glazing fresh nail. Drag it and drop it on the window pane. Right here. Then work on the fresh nail transition, just to make it reflective and less transparent. Change the transparency, change the color, use it to this, and increase the fresh nail to make it more like a mirror, reflective. Good. Then the next thing is the mullion of the window. You can change the color to dark or white. Make it white, it will appear white. If you move this down to dark, it will appear dark. I think I will go with dark. Then another material to work on there is the window hood. The window hood, because you can see it when you highlight it. When you press down your cursor on it, it will highlight it. You can choose a color that will fit in, that will blend with these materials you have on the wall. Let's say move it to white. Let's see what it looks like. Beautiful. It looks white right now. Now this part here is different. You can drag this material that you have on this wall and paste in between there, or you can drag this material by pressing down on your ALT on your keyboard. Press down on ALT. Then press down on your cursor. The plus sign will appear. Press down on ALT key on your keyboard and press down on your cursor on your mouse. Then the plus sign, a circle with plus sign will appear on it. Then move it without releasing the mouse. Move it to the surface that you want to drop that shader. You can see it has just highlighted itself, and release the mouse to drop it there. That is how you transfer a shader from one surface to another surface. Then the next thing you change there is this dot, the material with which you cover the dot. I like having it white. You can just move the point to top so that that place appears white. Beautiful. The moment that is done, the next thing that is left on your model is the ground. The ground. You have to change the ground. by deleting. Right click on it and delete. Deleted that shader. We now have to change a new material for the ground. Here we can look for, you can move this, that's not for ground. Let's go again. You have floor. So that what you have your wall shader, you have floor shader, and then you have external shaders. Under here you have concrete floors, pavements that you can apply. Okay, let's pick one of them. Let's pick this. Pavement 09. Drag it and drop it on this place. And this is what it looks like. What you now have to do is to reduce the scale. Right click on it, then move down to this side. You can see where you have the size. You keep moving. Or you can type a figure, let's say like 10, then click enter. Beautiful. If you are not comfortable with the size of the shader this time around, you can also adjust it further by changing this to, let's say, change it to 5. That makes it to reduce further, and click on your save. Then the next thing to do there is your fence. The same process. Change the color of your fence. And then click save. Now, having done this, the next thing you do is you take a look at your model and see if there is any other surface there that needs to be touched that you've not given a touch. Okay, yes, there is these are steps here. These steps here, you need to change their materials. Press down your cursor on it. That plus sign will appear on it. Then once it appears, then you click on delete, or you go to this spot here. Go to this spot here where you have granite board, because the moment you highlight it here, it will appear here as granite board. Then right click on it and click on delete. It will delete the shader. Then look for a new material that you apply there. Like using, if you have your own external libraries, you can apply and grab from it, or use from Artlantis library, already made library, and drop there. That does appear. Then change the scale to 5. Then take it off so that it will bring out this whole there. Also change it to 1 because it looks like it's very big. Beautiful. Then change it to horizontal. That's done. Click on your save as well. You must always click on your save at every slight change you do in the drawing. Then zoom your drawing so that you can see what you can appreciate your building. Now, if you are having problem moving your cursor this way, you can also use the 2D view. Like open the 2D view, click on it. From there, you can set your mouse, drag this point camera, this structure here. Now, hold this, pin down your cursor on this red button here. You can move it this way to choose the location, the position you want to give the building, or drag it out. Then change it to this front view. You can see the height you have. You can drag it down a bit. So drag this one down a bit. And you can see what it looks like. Now the next thing to do here is just work on your cloud, your sky. To do that, just click on your Heliodon. When you click on your Heliodon, move to this place and activate it. Activate your cloud. Once it is activated, this is pollution. What is the work of this pollution? It determines the degree of neatness of your rendering. So in most cases, I like removing it. But there is this advantage of pollution in real life. In real life, when you look at a building, you don't see it clearly, even though the building appears very clear. But there is what we call particles of dust in the air that sometimes make the picture of what you are seeing, the reflection of the house, not so clear as you think. That is why camera picture, when you snap with your camera, with your physical camera, the look of the camera and the natural look of the person are not always the same. So that is one thing with this pollution. So by reducing it to 0, the building will appear, your structure will appear neat and clean, devoid of any obstruction or anything that dims the view of the building. Then click on this cloud so that you can do some settings. Then reduce this stratus, reduce it down, and this cumulus, reduce this bit, and then reduce this one as well. This cumulus, this is like 46, okay, and increase this cirrus to 100. Your cloud is looking more realistic than artificial. Click OK. Also go back to this spot and click OK and click Save. Beautiful. Now, if you have objects that you want to blank on this model, you can drag them and drop. To do that, click on Object. Then, like I have my own library, my user library. Now I'll have to click on my user library so that it opens. I can drag anything that I feel like, something that I will use to garnish this drawing to make it look neat. Let me choose this folder, add to folder, and see if there are things in this folder that I can plant in this design here. Let me move to that one. Oh, there are cards here that I can pick. Pick any card, I can pick this card. Just drag it and drop it. Then go to your 2D view and position it the way you want it to be. Now, if you have trees as well to drop on this model or human beings, like we have this human being, you can drag them and drop. The human being has those appear. Go to your 3D view and position the human being the way you want it to be. Then make a final adjustment on the look of the building before you now do your rendering. Now click Save. Now when you take a look at this drawing, if you feel like the building is not bright the way you want it, you can adjust. You can go to your heliodon here and do some adjustment. One more thing that we need to touch here, this particular spot, seems like it did not reflect well. Let's transfer this material, the material on this wall, how to transfer it from this spot to this spot. I said previously, when you press down on your ALT, on your keyboard, there is a key that has ALT, very close to your spacebar. Press down on it, and also press down on your mouse. A dot with a plus in the middle appears. Then move it, without releasing the mouse, move it to that spot you want to drop the shader, and release the mouse. That is how you move material from one surface to another. Then click on your save. Now, having done that, move your mouse to perspective, click on perspective, then double click on this spot, the name of this picture you want to snap now. Double click on it and type in a name for it. You can call it first view. First view. Then you can freeze this coordinate so that it cannot be moved by clicking on this key to lock it. Now you see this symbol just appear. It means you can, even if you move the cursor right or left, you can't move or shift this building again. It helps to avoid one altering by mistake your look of the building. So once it's done like this, look at this spot here that is still reddish. Allow this reddish to turn green. Once it turns green, it means that the system has arranged, the drawing window has arranged the building finally the way you want it to be before you click for rendering. Wait patiently for it to turn green. Beautiful, it has turned green. Now that it has turned green, then go to your start rendering. Click on it. The moment it appears like this, what you simply do is click OK, because you've already done all the necessary settings you want to have. Then click OK for you to start rendering. It will start rendering now. Now you can see the drawing has finished rendering. Then click on this spot close. Then minimize your drawing board and check the picture. Look at it here, first view. Let's open it and see what it looks like. So with this, you have your drawing, your architectural model rendered properly in Artlantis. There are other sophisticated renderings that you see. You have beautiful materials around it, like trees, plants, human beings. Sometimes you can impose, you can just match existing picture inside your modeling object so that it will look like it's real. Or at other times you can use your hand to create all those materials, like external materials like your trees, your grasses, your vegetations, all around your structure to make it look beautiful. That is when you start advancing. But as for a beginner, I think this tutorial is enough to guide you through as you start. Once again, I thank you for watching our video. Please do encourage your friends to subscribe to our page and like our video as well. Thank you.